Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Coming up this week, it is January 15th, and tickets for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party have just gone on sale, so it's just another normal week, another normal January week in Disney. A worker is suing Animal Kingdom over an injury from a collapsed ditch, and expect to see more pop-up events like the Potion Purple event that took place. Oh, God, that's an awful lot of P's. For annual pass holders last week, we're also going to discuss 10 reasons why 2019 is going to be a very exciting year for Disney World. All that coming up next. From the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida, this is the Diz Unplugged. This is the Diz Unplugged, episode 1018, for the week of January 15th, 2019. The Diz Unplugged is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Disney vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show, coming to you live from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner. Joined at the table this week by my good friends, John Magi.
Hi, everybody.
Kevin Close.
Hey, everyone.
Charles Boda.
Hey, folks.
Steve Porter.
Hey.
I got a text message. Oh, I remember his name. I just got a text message, and it distracted me for a moment. But Steve is here. And back in the production nook on the switch, our associate producer, Mr. Rhino Clavin.
Hello.
And our producer, Mr. Craig Williams.
Hello.
A.K.A. Ed Sheeran. Mm-hmm. And
it was too many A's.
It is also it is National Kiss a Ginger Day, so everyone has to kiss Craig on the lips before they leave.
I'll be actually going to Disney Springs and forming a line, so if anyone's interested.
You do that.
Okay.
You do that. All right, so a couple things in housekeeping. First, to our live audience, I apologize. We went up late today, about 6 minutes late. That was my fault. I was doing some other stuff, and I let the time get away from me, and I apologize for that. But a couple other things. During our marathon 12-hour show back in November, one of the segments we did was on moving to Orlando. We had released that segment individually. It did extremely well. So I'm letting everybody know that there are some new shows coming out in the next few weeks regarding moving to Orlando. But you can also keep in touch and follow along and ask questions on our Moving to the Magic Facebook group. There'll be a link in the show notes page, dizunplugged.com. So you can head over to Facebook and just do a search on Moving to the Magic as well and join the group there. There are 3 questions that you need to answer before you are approved. Please make sure you answer them. We're just trying to make sure we keep that group.
What's your name? What's your favorite color?
No, we're just trying to make sure.
Airspeed
we're just trying to make sure there's no nonsense, so that people are, So yeah, they're basic questions.
I thought it was Holy Grail.
No, it's not. No. We gotta fix this headset connection for me because it keeps shorting out. So yeah, moving to the Magic Facebook group on Facebook, obviously. So check that out. And I also want to remind everybody about our very rapidly filling. 20 Years of Dreams party happening August 7th through the 11th with a big party happening, a private event happening at Pandora, World of Avatar at Animal Kingdom. And John is giving the look like, God, this party's going to kill me.
It is going to kill me. It is. Every time we announce it, we get another big push of people signing up. I assume today when I go home, there'll be a bunch of people who have signed up, and then tomorrow as well. I do not anticipate we will last very much longer. We have about less than 50 spots available.
Yeah.
I know for some people that might sound like a lot. It's not a lot.
No, not for this party. We've limited the number intentionally to make sure it's a special event.
Yeah. And we're even limited by Disney. There's a max that we can do through Disney, so it's not.
So yeah,
it is what it is.
I keep getting, because I watch a reservations account, I keep getting the same question. Do I have to pay for someone who is this old? and it's usually a child. And I asked John again for the 400th time, and he told me if they have a face, they have to pay. So
That's a rule.
Yeah, this is not a Disney event per se. So Disney ticket prices don't. I mean, you don't need a Disney ticket to get into this event. But you do have to buy a spot through us.
It is their policy that they're going to charge us for everything with a heartbeat.
Yeah. Right.
So while
that's true.
it is their policy we're following. So yes, no matter the age of the child or the adult, it doesn't matter if you're too young or too old. We still have to pay for it.
Right. So, but we're very excited about this party. We're going to be doing a lot of cool things that weekend, as we always do on these amazing events that John plans. And he's just gotten so damn good at these parties. They're legendary. They're legendary. So if you were part of our 20th anniversary of the Diz party a few years ago, then you already know that this is something you're not going to want to miss. If you miss that, don't be foolish. Don't miss this one too. So I know there are people that are changing their dates of when they're planning to travel this year to make sure they are in town for this. You're not going to want to miss it. Great opportunity to do stuff with the team in the parks, and there will be. I'm pretty sure there's going to be an opportunity to raise some money for Give Kids the World that involves some kind of dining event here in the studio. But
Can I also say that one more thing?
Sure.
The other question I get asked, these tickets unfortunately are not transferable and they are not cancelable. So if you are buying a ticket for someone else, make sure they're going to go with you.
Yeah.
Correct. Lots of opportunities. These guys we're gonna work on that in the next coming months. What they're all gonna do for their individual events and ways to raise money for Give Kids the World. So,
every time I reach for my soda, I keep hitting my microphone. So I figure, let me just move it to the other side.
Craig is applying lip balm every day for his kissing booth.
Oh no, I'm doing a ghost meetup for that because if you have a face, then you have to pay. So I assume we're going to get a lot of ghost clientele showing up for this event.
My Lord.
Oh my God. It doesn't get any worse than
He
that.
was talking about like making pottery or something. I had this whole.
No, that's part of it. Yeah.
That's the drama queen in you.
I thought it was ghosting like
I thought it was a texting thing.
Yeah.
like catfishing or something. I thought,
Oh yeah, that'll be it. Come to my event at this time, and then I just don't show up at all. You were warned.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like work.
Oh.
No, I can honestly say of everybody that works for me, that's the last person who's going to do that. That's the hardest working man in show business back there. Anything else in housekeeping? Really?
Carol Channing passed away.
Plug in our friend.
Oh my goodness! Yes, thank you. That's what I knew I was forgetting to add something to my list. All right, so you may have noticed over the last few months there's some videos that have been going up, like the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party video and the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party video that people really, really loved. That was done by a local guy by the name of Philip Kelly. He's been doing some freelance work for us, and in exchange, I told him that I would promote some of the things that he does. He has his own little business doing these videos, and he's been doing them for like families, like these really great stylized videos for families that want a special memento of their trip. So I believe we have one queued up ready to show. Mm-hmm. So here's one of Philip's videos. He's a very, very talented guy. If you're interested in talking to Philip about any of his services, his website is heyteamkelly.com, and Kelly is spelled Kelly, and you can get all his contact information there. But Philip's doing some more work with us right now on a lot of things, and he actually did the videos that are all attached to the moving to Orlando stuff that we've been doing. Those are Philip's videos. He's got some other stuff that he's working on for us. So, heyteamkelly.com.
So what does he do? He follows your family around for a day
sets
or a
up,
couple
right,
days?
or like actually for a few hours. And
he has different packages. So for depending on the length, you pay depending on how
and it's
long.
remarkably reasonable to get like something like that done. Is really not as expensive as you think it is.
I think he also does photos too.
Yeah. He's really, really great guy, really talented with the camera, and he's got a serious rig. I thought I had serious equipment. This man's got like
it's like a lightsaber. The things that he like. It's like a I can't think of the name.
The gimbal.
The gimbal that he has. It seriously looks like a lightsaber.
Yeah, it's insane. So he's a true pro. HeyTeamKelly.com. There'll be a link to that in the show notes page as well. So thank you, Craig, for reminding me.
You gotta do it.
So anything else? Anything else for housekeeping? No? All right. So we get some interesting things to talk about in the news. I don't know if we told John what the order was going to be.
We did.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I keep forgetting, Craig, you're on top of things. So,
He is
'cause I changed the order around. But all right, we'll turn it over to Johnny with the news.
All right, our first news story. Disney announces dates, tickets on sale for 2019 Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and Disney's H2O Glow Nights in 2019. I'm not going to read the whole information, but basically this is a surprise.
Just a little.
January 15th.
So I wanted to include this story mainly because normally this would be a rapid fire that, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party tickets have gone on sale. But it's January 15th. And last week we were talking about how unusual it was that Disney not just released a free dining promotion in January, but they released it for the entire summer.
Well, they're going to start putting the Christmas decorations up on St. Patrick's Day.
Well, we can. The fact that this party starts on August 16th no longer surprises us, sadly. Right. Price points $85 to $115. I don't have last year's prices in front of me. I don't know if that's a significant. That's not the annual pass holder rate.
Didn't Jackie say it was like $5 to $10 more than
$5.79 was the cheapest this year, but I'm not 100%.
I think that's accurate. But this is yet another indicator that something is rotten in Disney World. Something's not going well this year. And obviously, we know that, with Star Wars slated to open at the end of the year, that some people are holding off. But this, and I knew that, and I know that that's a thing, but this, now with this on top of the free dining 2 weeks ago, this tells me that things are a lot worse than I thought.
I remember after we did the Halloween party last year, we all kind of reacted like, this wasn't our favorite. And I feel like instead of putting out the tickets earlier, hoping that people will buy them because they're clearly panicked, why don't they do something to improve the party to create a higher demand instead of, let's just put them out earlier?
I don't think this has any... They filled so many parties last year. So in spite of the negative reports that were coming out on social media, it did not impact sales. This is not about them being afraid of not filling the Halloween party. This is them being afraid of not filling the hotel rooms from August through November.
I agree. This is them saying, okay, we need people to start booking now and planning now for these parties and these events so that they'll book hotel rooms and they'll start to be on property for this time frame.
But your point is well taken. If they wanted to make sure that the Halloween parties were enough of a draw to get people to book their hotel rooms and plan their trips, start announcing like Bette Midler is going to star in the Hocus Pocus show on the Castle Forecourt stage. Start doing things to communicate that Kevin just woke up.
I'll go.
Kevin just woke up. And start announcing improvements and changes to the party. It's not just about selling these tickets early. So your point's well taken, Charles.
The only problem with that, though, is that actually involves a monetary expenditure to make things better generally, where I think what they're trying to do is to avoid any investment and still try and boost their numbers and boost their sales in advance for investors. So, like, if you were to do anything good with the party to try and sell tickets, that's money going out. And right now, with the way their budget is working and the money that they're now paying cast members in both resorts domestically, they're trying to boost their numbers without putting too much extra money into it.
And
so,
and that's true, but shame on them for instead of investing money, they're just trying to figure out a different way.
Well, again,
this also might be a flip side to this too. The flip side might be, listen, we see how many people have booked this party and how popular it's going to be. Maybe it is time for us to put something else in there and saying this is a popular night. Let's do stuff in that park to alleviate the crowds, to make it more enjoyable, rather than being an afterthought and saying we think people will come these nights.
Well, if these are going to be another series of oversold events, they're going to be getting short-term gain for long-term pain. Because at some point, if we have another season of Halloween parties like we had this year, they're going to have trouble selling these tickets soon. Because if this is now the new norm, that these are oversold parties where the park is packed with people and it's an hour-long standby line to get on an attraction and it's 95 degrees out because you're starting Halloween in August, you're going to have problems. They're going to start having problems. But the narrative here, and look, I'm just working off assumption. But I think it's pretty clear. There's one thing that we know. Disney doesn't do anything they don't have to do. They don't offer a discount if they don't have to offer a discount. They don't offer free dining if they don't have to offer free dining. And they had no trouble filling the parties this past year. This isn't about making sure the parties are full. This is about trying to convince people with all their hooks, every hook they have. So I guess we're going to see, I think Food and Wine's probably going to start in July at this point, and run through December until Star Wars opens. I don't know. I don't know what's, is it possible that the business is moving out to California in anticipation of Star Wars opening out there?
Well,
so that people that may have come here for the fall are now planning to go out there?
I don't deal with the parks as much as you do, but I deal with other parts of the company. And I can tell you that that's a discussion everywhere about Star Wars opening in California.
There are people definitely delaying their vacations. And there are people who definitely are going to be going to California for the opening rather than waiting for Walt Disney World. I'm surprised we haven't seen anything for early April through early summer, because this is where they're really having trouble.
Come before Star Wars opens.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the point I was going to make next, is that the opportunity here for those who, like you, who follow this stuff very closely, or close enough to watch this live right now, the opportunity is that prices have never been lower. I'm seeing, as I'm preparing our resort reviews for the year, I'm taking advantage of this, and I'm booking rooms now while these discounts are in place, because the prices are absurdly low. Now, there are some pockets of time, like right now I'm seeing February and March, prices are high. But when we start getting into that June, July, August, September timeframe, boy, they are dirt cheap. So it's a good opportunity right now.
So selling these tickets now is an influx of cash. It's a bit of a boost.
Are they non-refundable? Party tickets?
I
Technically, they are.
think
They're
they
not
are.
unless there's some.
I think all tickets are non-refundable.
Yeah, but I mean, it's if there's something that like terribly happens and goes wrong,
Sometimes
they'll
weather-
refund.
A lot of times, whether they'll give you a different ticket.
Yeah, if it's really bad to the point that you'll never be able to come back, they'll give you a refund. If they can just switch your date, they'll do that. But that's...
I thought tickets were non-refundable.
I believe their build is non-refundable. But I
Yeah.
think Craig's right, because there was a night where we tried to go, and it was a deluge.
It was.
And
Deluge.
And they gave us our money back.
Only people who remember the Living
That's right, the Living
Seas as it
Seas.
existed in the 90s will get that. The deluge. They've just brought me right back to Seabase Alpha. I miss that attraction the way
did
it was.
too.
I miss that attraction.
I know I'm an old fart.
do-
I miss a lot of the
I
attractions.
like the Seas with Nemo and Friends. I do like that, but I really miss the deluge. So yeah, that's the opportunity right now. But this is another indicator, and I just wonder in 2 weeks or next week, what are we going to talk about that is yet another indicator? Because these things don't appear to be moving the needle.
The Christmas party tickets will come out.
I really think we're gonna see something with Food and Wine, because that's their next major hook. That's a bigger hook than the Halloween party is, and I think they make more money off of it. So I have a feeling we're going to see something coming.
Problem is that's not usually something you have to pay for now. I think
don't tempt them.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like that's not a cash outlay immediately unless you want to go to one of those parties.
Maybe they should do that. Maybe they should do for Food and Wine, buy a punch card for X amount of dollars, and you get to go to 10 kiosks.
Yeah.
Make that a part
We
of
went
it.
to a thing at the LA Farmers Market, and I thought they did an amazing thing. What they did was you bought a card that you wore around your neck,
Right.
and it was all the vendors. And as you went to a vendor to try their thing, their item, it was like their version of Food and Wine. They punched your card, so you got to try everything once. And I think to myself, that would be so much easier than wristbands or paying with cash. I think it would make things go further. If you bought something where you could try something at every booth, I would buy one.
Didn't they have something similar to this that was like limited items? Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't everything.
I know, like, for example, at Disneyland when they did like Festival of the Holidays, they had a card that you wore around your neck, and it had like 8 things you could break off, and you could pick and choose wherever you wanted to use those 8 things. And they've done that for Epcot for Food and Wine before. I just don't keep up with that information because it's not something that
So Disney should sell a package for Food and Wine that includes a punch card. With
And have 2 lines.
Irrespective, there's plenty of great ideas I'm sure that they could utilize. But the fact of the matter is they got to come up with, apparently, they got to come up with something. So we're going to see if this moves the needle for them. Is this going to shore up their, late summer into fall time frame? Because that seems to be where they are most worried. But right now, if you're looking at hotels between July 5th and the end of September, there's some good prices out there. So dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. All right, let's move on to the next story.
All right, our next news story. Annual pass holder Super Saturdays to be replaced by new pop-up shopping experience. Am I okay here? Did I do them out of order?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, no. Okay, you want me to go back?
No,
into the
no,
right
go
one?
ahead. Go ahead. You
Don't
already started.
spoil it. Yeah.
Oh, don't spoil it. Sorry, guys. Walt Disney World has announced that they'll be replacing their monthly Super Saturday events at Disney Springs with exclusive new pop-up shopping experiences. The dates of these special experiences will be announced throughout the year, so it's important that you keep your email address updated in your online Disney profile. These new and unique shopping opportunities will bring the latest and greatest Disney merchandise with new products included in the mix.
And the reason I included this in the news this week is because we had an opportunity to cover the
Potion Purple
Potion Purple pop-up
annual pass holder.
annual pass holder
Poop event.
Run for the Cure event. And I have to tell you, I wasn't sure what to expect with this event, right? It's Disney trying to create, I'm going into it saying, okay, they hit on something unexpectedly with the rose gold ears. So now they're trying to make purple a thing, and wasn't sure what this experience was going to be like. So imagine my surprise when we get to, they were doing this event in the Merchant of Venus, in Anti-Gravity's ice cream place, and then the other was Mickey Star Traders. They were using those 3 venues, but you had to line up at Stitch because they kind of brought you in the exit of Stitch to go into the stores. So imagine my surprise when we got there an hour and a half ahead of time, and there was already a really healthy line for this, and it only got longer and longer and longer. This event did very well, and they managed it beautifully. I'm going to tell you, it's like one of the best managed events I've ever seen them do. And they had a lot of really, really cool stuff. Sean and his friend Victoria did a vlog on it. We went out live on Facebook with it. And you can find that on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/DizUnplugged. And then the Diz Unplugged Facebook page has the live video we did where we covered it. And people were losing their minds over this stuff. And we do have some that we're going to be giving away on the Diz Instagram channel. I just don't have that set up yet, but you're going to want to follow the Diz Instagram. But so I thought it was really cool. My problem with this was that, it's really all for women. It was just a complete, which I understand, but
I have no problem with that as long as there are some of these events coming up that have a mix or some that have for guy.
Well, I think, honestly, in their defense, I can say that if they did one of these that was all guys, I think they'd have 20 people online. Or most of the people online would be women buying for their boyfriends or their husbands. But I think there has to be a mix too. Mm-hmm. I think there needs to be some stuff for.
Surprised it wasn't generic hats and
everything was was sparkly and purple. Now there are for Rhino, for Rhino. But I thought they did a really good job with it, and that's why I wanted to highlight this as and what it was an annual pass holder preview, and it went from 5 to 7 p.m. and then the next day, actually later on that night, but technically the next day, this merchandise was available to the public. So you're getting an annual pass holder preview of this stuff. And I thought it went really, really well, and it was managed as well as it possibly could have been. I gave them a lot of credit. Cast members were awesome. Mm-hmm. And I have to say, I've been spending a lot more time in the parks lately. Just finished up a review, which will be coming out shortly, of Caribbean Beach Resort, and tried minivans for the first time while I was doing that. And I got to tell you, I've run into some amazing cast members. Amazing cast members, but that's for another review. But I was really pleased with how they handled it. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with it. What are you laughing at?
Riley in the chat pointed out that the next big fad's going to be avocado merch. Because millennials like to attach to stuff like avocado toast and such.
Well, that's Disney. That's California. That's California. They'll do the avocado stuff out there. But I was really excited about it. I'm excited to see what else they do. I really do hope they do more stuff that's also either unisex or male-female options.
From a pass holder's standpoint, it would be nice for them to have a few more pass holder exclusive things. Because to be honest with you, having the opportunity to buy merch a day before it goes on sale to everybody else is without a specific pass holder draw. I don't really feel the need to wait in that line. It was managed great, and I had a decent time, and it was certainly the most purple event I've ever been to, so it wins that award. But at the end of the day, it's hey...
Well, wait, what were the other ones, though? What other purple events have you been to if this was the best?
Honestly, I've never been to any other purple events.
But he imagines this would be the best. But
so comparison-wise, this is at least 130% more purple than any other event I've been to. And it had its cool elements, but the thing is, if the treats, I guess, are a draw there. But if the main draw is I can pay for Disney stuff 18 hours before I can pay for Disney stuff, I don't feel as much pass holder love there. Whereas if throw me a T-shirt, throw me something exclusive that's male and female, and then Yeah, I know that.
That is exclusive to the event.
That's exclusive to the event, exclusive to pass holders. Maybe that's what makes it a pass holder event. They had one such thing, I think, was that Pandora charm.
Pandora charm, but that's generally available. So pass holders.
So as far as events go, it's fine. But as far as I really feel treasured to be a pass holder, it doesn't have that much of effect on me.
It felt like special events they do in Disneyland, especially because they had the purple Mickey cake pop. They had that cool potion drink that was basically Robitussin with dry ice and tapioca balls. They had the grape cotton candy, which was really good. That was really good cotton candy.
Purple churro.
And then the purple churro, which was just a churro with glitter on it. But I like that they're doing that stuff. I think they should be encouraged to do more of it. It makes it special. It makes it more park specific or Disney World specific. And they're attracting, for those annual pass holder events, they're attracting the Walt Disney World fans.
And I think one of the big draws of it, which I don't get, but I'm sure a lot of people do, is if you go to those events, you do get to be the first person on Instagram wearing those purple ears or purple shirt or whatever is specific 18 hours before it comes out. And to some people, that actually does.
Yeah, it matters.
There's one more factor involved in this. The purple is the new rose gold. And remember when the rose gold ears sold out and everyone freaked out? So the reason why it's quote unquote special is because now people are afraid that those items might sell.
Fear of missing out.
Right. Fear of
FOMO,
missing out.
as they call it in marketing. FOMO. Fear of missing out. And Disney does it better than anybody. But here's the thing. Rose gold ears happened organically. It was not a thing. Disney just made rose gold ears. They had no idea they were going to hit the way they did. And so it's kind of like the purple wall that... the purple wall was just a thing, and Instagram found it basically and made it a thing, and now Disney is creating walls everywhere, and there isn't an organic idea that Disney won't dry hump into the ground, and that's what they're doing now with purple.
I think tapioca balls might be one.
The tapioca balls and drinks, that's like a big thing. Like they're doing it. My first experience with tapioca balls was out in California. They put that in their specialty. That's what makes it a special drink. Here's some balls.
When we were at Star Traders, this cast member...
I haven't been to that bar.
When we were at Star Traders, this cast member walked up to me when we were showing off the purple ears. He stops and he's like, those purple ears have been around for like a year and a half. Now purple's a thing and everybody wants these ears, but they've always existed. Like he was like he had secretly loved those ears and nobody had purchased them, and now he was bothered that everybody jumped on the purple bandwagon.
I like the fact that he shared that with you.
Yeah, I do too. It was nice.
So, all right, let's go on
Before
to the next.
we do, I just want to interject something. Somebody has pointed out to me that today is the day that Carousel of Progress opened in 1975.
Aww.
It's the anniversary.
Oh, cool.
Just a factoid.
Awesome.
All right, our third and final news story, which I think was supposed to be our second news story. I can't keep
But I
track.
always said let's end on a lawsuit.
Yeah, really.
Breaking news.
Anytime someone dies, we like to end on that. Worker suing Disney over injury from collapsed ditch at Animal Kingdom. Citrus County, Florida resident and construction worker Robert Howard has filed a lawsuit in Orange County Circuit Court over an injury sustained on Walt Disney World property in 2016, which occurred while working inside a ditch. According to the Orlando Sentinel, Robert and his wife, Tara Howard, are seeking damages to the tune of $15,000 from the MLC Theming and Total Demolition Services, as well as the Walt Disney World Resort. Howard suffered the injuries in the course of building foundations for new animal cages. His attorney, Michael DeMasso, said that the lawsuit is being filed so that the same thing does not happen again and so that I can line my pockets. A Disney spokeswoman responded
He had to say that. He had to make that statement over the sound of ambulance sirens.
Exactly. A Disney spokeswoman responded to the suit in a statement saying, quote, "Nothing is more important to us than the safety of those who visit and work at our resort. We will respond to the allegations as appropriate in court." And basically what they want to point out is he was not an employee. He was a contractor working through.
It doesn't matter as much.
It doesn't matter as much, right? So when you think your life is bad, you don't work in a ditch. So I don't.
You don't fall into a ditch.
Oddly enough, from those of us who have worked in ditches, I've got some insider ditch information. One of the things about Florida
The purple ditch event that you attended.
there are three types of shoring techniques they use if you're working inside of a ditch. But in Florida, because of the way our soil is and our dirt is, it's much more inclined to cave in on a person, and so you have to use much heavier shoring techniques to keep those ditches safer. I don't
Stop looking at me. I'm just surprised that you have ditch information.
I do. I have a ditch load of information for you. But anyway, so this actually happens more than you'd think, because if you've ever seen Florida sand or Florida soil or something, if you've ever just taken a shovel to the ground, that stuff wants to cave in really, really quickly. It's not like northern soil. And so the shoring techniques that you have to use are a lot more aggressive than you would in other states or with other soils. So this stuff can actually happen a lot, and I don't know what techniques they used, but when you work in ditches in Florida, you have to be like top-notch safety and security, and if you just minimize it just a little because you're working quickly or you want to get a job done, stuff like this happens. And this guy ended up working out, still being alive and still being fine, but there are way worse scenarios that I've seen. So
Yeah, no, Charles worked construction for years.
I believe it.
So he brings that.
I'm sorry.
Gravitas, I think, is the word you're looking
Yeah.
for.
This is not Disney's fault. If you hire a contractor to work for you, a subcontractor, and they should have their OSHA plan in place, and
They should have their ditch together.
Well, it seems like he should be suing the the
He is, but he's
contracted
also-
employer.
Well,
He's also
they
Disney.
and that's what lawyers do. They end up.
$15,000. Just give him some purple crap and move on.
Well, one of the companies that he worked for, when they tried to reach them for comment, is no longer listed as a valid company or as an operating company. And I think
Okay, who the hell is Disney hiring to do this stuff?
Goomba Brothers LLC, apparently. Some New
Shadow
Jersey.
ditch diggers.
Some New
A
Jersey.
new baby giraffe was born at Animal Kingdom just this week.
In the ditch?
it was
Yeah,
a birthing ditch.
I think
It was
we're
a
all
birthing ditch.
we're all on the same page.
Okay.
This is not Disney's responsibility.
No, I agree. And I think that's what's going to end up happening. But they usually, if they attach Disney's name to it, they're hoping that just to make it go away, Disney will settle because they have deep pockets. But we'll see what happens. All right.
That'll do it for the news.
Thank you, John. Let's go ahead and move on to rapid fire. And John, we'll go to you.
All right, my rapid fire is that Walt Disney World Resort hotels will introduce a new payment card policy beginning February 27th. Beginning February 27th, Walt Disney World Resort hotels will have a new payment policy. So for guests who wish to put a payment, use their magic bands or pay something on their room charges, you're going to be required to have a credit card on file, and they're going to incrementally charge your card, including a hold. Now, I think for a lot of us, we think, weren't they already doing this?
I knew they weren't, but I was surprised that they weren't.
Right. So what was happening was people would log in online, will check in online, and they have their magic bands at home, and they'd go right to the park, and they would buy a whole bunch of stuff they couldn't afford. And then you go back to the resort later, and they're like, well, you owe this much, and they're like, well, I don't have it. So now, if you want to charge anything on your magic band, even if you don't stop at the resort, you have to have a credit card on file. They're going to charge $100 to your card immediately to hold it for any charges, and then they're going to charge your card as the charges come in addition to a $100 buffer.
Now, what did surprise me, and I think they've been doing this for a while, I just happened to notice it. When I'd done the online check-in for my stay at Caribbean Beach last week, and it was a room only, and it's like with packages, you've paid that balance, 45 days, 60 days in advance, whatever it is. But with room only, you put a one-night deposit. And I use my American Express card. So every time that card gets charged, I get a notice. And it was really weird. It was 7 o'clock in the morning I was going to check in. And I get a notice from American Express that the full amount now of my stay at Caribbean Beach has been charged to my card. And then literally a minute later, I get a text from Disney letting me know that my room's not ready yet, but we'll text you as soon as it is. I was surprised they were charging the full amount right then, like at the beginning of the stay.
Oh, no, I don't think that's unusual.
I don't think it's
Due in full upon arrival, I believe, is the terms of a room reservation.
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But I remember a time when they didn't, that they charged you later on in the stay. But I just thought it was funny that it was like 7 a.m. the charge hit, Amex 701. I get the text from Disney, your room's not ready yet, but we'll text you when it is. But yeah, and every hotel does this.
Right.
And it's really more of an issue for people with debit cards that use debit cards, because the hold that they put on doesn't get reversed right away. So your debit card, now $100, isn't as bad as there are places. I remember, I think it was Universal at one point, or was it might have been the Lowe's out in Hollywood, was doing like a $250 hold against incidentals. And people were freaking out. So 100 isn't as bad, but it's something to keep in mind, especially if you're using a debit card.
I think this is really to address the fact that people had no credit card on file and were using their magic bands to buy stuff in the parks and charge food without any way for Disney to get their money back.
And I will tell you one thing you do not ever want to get involved with is it's the law is referred to as defrauding an innkeeper, which means you run up a bill at a hotel you can't pay. You don't want to do that at Disney. They do not mess around. All the magic goes out the window the minute you can't pay the bill. I mean, they will arrest you. And they do. The sheriff's office is called. You're arrested. They're not even going to talk to you about it. It's like, can you pay? No? Okay. Enjoy your stay in the county jail.
And then you get a free room.
Yeah, free room and board. All right. Thank you, John. Kevin.
I'm going to do it one more time. I have the last 2 spaces on our London-Paris trip next October 4th. Let's start over. I have 2 spaces left on our Disneyland Paris, London Paris, Disneyland Paris. I wasn't prepared at all.
This is the second time this has happened. You don't understand how rapid fire works?
You missed the exit on the way here, okay?
I did miss the exit on the way here. I know, I think I was supposed to turn back there, but I'm not quite sure.
We have a trip coming up in October that we're going to London, Paris, and Disneyland Paris. I only have 2 spaces left. There's been a bunch of... I'm having so much trouble.
There's a bunch of ditch.
There's a bunch of people. I'm still in the ditch. There's a bunch of people who have been circling and asking questions. I have two spots left. If you're interested, Kevin at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. It's $10.5, roughly, per person. And if you're a single person, it's $14.7. Those are just ballpark numbers, but they're kind of close. So if you want to go and you've been circling the wagons, it's time. Last 2 spots.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. Charles.
All right. So Aulani is renovating their pools this year. Due to the pools not being fully operational, Disney's offering guests with bookings throughout the period, which will take place August 19th through December 17th of this year, 2019. They're offering a $50 resort credit for each night of your stay, which will be automatically added to your folio at check-in. Can be used for any Aulani offerings, including dining, merchandise, a visit to Laniwai Spa, an island excursion, stuff like that. The dates that you need to be aware of that they're going to be renovating these pools, and forgive me because I'm going to butcher every single one of these names. Between August 19th and October 11th, Waikolohe Stream Lazy River, Waikolohe Stream Whirlpool Spa, Menehune Bridge and Tubestone Curl Water Slide, and Kawele Corner, which is pool towel distribution. Those will all be unavailable.
So that's everything in the center of the resort.
I'm going to tell you something. This is big.
This is huge.
This is the entire valley. At some point is going to be closed.
And I'm going to say something that John's going to hit me, because as a travel agency, we shouldn't be saying this. Don't go.
Well, this is one of the reasons why we love Aulani, is because of the sort of all-inclusive nature of having the Wailea Valley.
I would not go between, what are those dates?
These are
for that one.
For this one specifically, that's August 19th to October 11th.
Don't go.
However, that's only that's the Lazy River.
He's going to tuck that.
I
Yeah.
apologize. But then the second part is the other pool. So it's while they're not closing at the same time, there's going to be construction in
Well,
there.
go ahead with it.
And there's overlap of them too, I believe. So
I was better with his rapid fire than I was with mine.
So those pools are shut down from August 19th to October 11th, and then beginning October 2nd, but to December 17th. So there's a 9-day overlap between them. October 2nd to December 17th, you've got Waikolohe Pool Whirlpool Spa, Volcanic Vertical Water Slide, Aloha Point Whirlpool Spa, Rainbow Reef, and Lava Shack and Mama Snack Stop will be unavailable.
Yeah, don't.
And then you can check the story on the site, but there are minor things, snack stations and stuff like that.
Unless they are going to dramatically slash the price of the rooms. And I mean dramatically. They cannot pull a Polynesian with this, where the Polynesian was basically under construction for a year and a half and the prices didn't budge. They can't do that out there. So if you're okay with the pools being down and they slash those prices, then go.
And they mentioned that there's going to be construction noise.
Yeah.
So there goes the relaxation features.
Yeah, well, they say no noise between dusk and 9 a.m., but I mean, you want your entire day to be relaxing if you go out to Hawaii and Aulani.
That's too.
Like that.
It's too big a job.
And even though you're saying different things, it's all in the same area. So
Yeah.
it's not like you're going to, I can avoid this half of it. It's all going to be impacted. It's,
Yeah,
I'm amazed at what they're doing.
Not only that, but you really have to use that as a transit area if you're going from one side of the resort to the other.
Oh yeah.
Or
this
dinner, or
right. So if you're on
luau.
one side of the resort and you're going to Ama Ama, you're going to have to work around that construction.
Well, if you want to go get coffee in the morning, you've got to walk past that because there's no coffee in the main building, which drove me crazy. That I had to walk. I said to them, I was talking to their food and beverage manager. I'm like, you've got that bar there, not doing anything in the morning. You used to serve coffee in there. Oh, we're trying to get that back. I'm like, well, do it because this is ridiculous. There was a downpour. I mean, a deluge. While we were there, I had to go find an umbrella to go get my morning coffee. I'm like, this is absurd. Not in this hotel. But
I think most people make coffee in their rooms because of the.
not that coffee. No, I was not happy with that. What was
Our
in
first stop when we go to Aulani is Bed Bath & Beyond, and we buy a Keurig. So
Should have done that. All right. Thank you, Charles. Steve.
Okay, so this past weekend was the Walt Disney World Marathon, and the male winner was Fredison Costa, and the female was Giovanna Martins. Costa had a time of 2 hours, 18 minutes, and 45 seconds. Martins was 2 hours, 45 minutes, and 24 seconds.
It's Kevin and mine's running names.
Those are both previous winners too, right?
Yes. Let me bring it back up.
sort of
Costa
weird
has
setup there.
won. Let's see. 7 times, and she's won 4. And he barely beat out the guy who won last year. So, but yeah, 7 times winning is pretty remarkable. So good for him and her.
Nice.
Congratulations to everybody who ran the race, by the way, because you're a better man than I am, or woman. As I joke, if you're not going to strap a box of Twinkies to the back of the person in front of me, I ain't running anywhere.
I just can't imagine being able to finish in 2 hours and 20, because I did it and it took right under 7 hours and last year, and then
Yeah, but you were sashaying. You weren't running.
well, no, I've trained and done, in my best half marathon I've ever done was 2.5 hours, and they did that in less time. They did 26.2 miles in less than it took me to do 60, or whatever half of that is, 13.
Do you know I can't drive that fast on I-4?
it takes me that long to drive that far.
Yeah, really.
It's crazy.
All right. Thank you, Steve. Rhino.
Okay, so I have the January update for some new treats coming around, or returning treats too.
And you want to know why it takes you 7 hours to finish a marathon.
Well, the first up we've got at the newly refurbished Kringla Bakery, Og Cafe in the Norway Pavilion has the troll horns back again, and those are these crispy sugar-coated pastry shells filled with cloudberry jam and whipped cream. I have never heard of cloudberry jam until when I read this, so I'm curious about those. And then at the Magic Kingdom, at the Main Street Main Street Bakery, you can get an orange scented castle cupcake filled with gold and silver. They've got the crispy pearls topped with champagne, buttercream, and chocolate castle piece. And then at Aristocrapes, there's an edible cookie dough, which is the craze that is hitting everywhere now that it's hit the real world. It's into Disney World.
3 years ago.
I know. But now, like, BB Wolf's has it too, Aristocrapes. And then Beaches and Cream has some new milkshakes. And then there's a new Merida cupcake at the All-Star Music Resort as well. So that's it for this month. But every month they've been releasing these kind of, like, limited snacks and everything. And I like that they're not always cupcakes, although they inevitably always have a cupcake. But
Isn't all cookie dough edible?
That was my question.
it is
Not
not,
if it has
raw
not if it has
egg.
raw eggs in it.
Oh,
No.
it's still edible.
Not if it has what in it?
It'll just make you sick.
If you run the risk of getting sick by consuming raw eggs.
Raw
So,
eggs, yes.
Yeah.
With raw eggs
You
in the
ran them
cookie
together.
dough.
Rocks.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah,
Sorry.
raw eggs. You're right. I mean, we all have done it.
Oh, of course. Hello.
Obviously.
Sometimes to excess.
Exactly.
And we've just been praying not to get,
Right.
salmonella or something else. All right. Thank you, Rhino. Craig.
Okay.
Okay. Wow.
Are y'all ready?
Favorite thing.
No, it was because I realized a second. I was like, I just said, no, it's still edible. And then I'm like, no, the definition of edible is it won't make you sick. So I'm just dealing with that looping in my head right now. On to the show.
Should I kick a ginger day? What is today?
Coming up. Oh, no, not there. So, Festival of the Arts starts this Friday, and lots of new stuff is going to be released, including the highly coveted annual pass holder Figment magnet. You got to get it while it's hot because they'll only be available while supplies last, unless you put it on your car and then someone will steal it eventually.
Oh, definitely.
Down the road.
Kathy
So
will steal it.
yeah, she's Kathy's going to become the Grinch of Figment magnets, just stealing them all throughout the year. She'll put them back eventually. Spoiler for the Grinch. There's also going to be Figment cookies, new Spirit jerseys, because of course, why not? And plenty of other merchandise. But yeah, the big thing out of this one is definitely the Figment pass holder magnet. So get out, get your magnets.
And then you getting those at Festival of the Arts?
Yes.
I'm assuming it's going to work the same way as the Food and Wine does, and you have to get it on your first trip. That's how they know. So if you've gone during the dates of the festival more than once and you forgot to get it on the first one, they're not going to give it to you. So you got to go on that first date. That's what
I
it's
got
just-
mine like after 2 months after it started.
No, their
Was that
rule.
your first time, though?
No.
They were telling people that was the rule. That was the advertised rule. Was you had to get it on the first day and the first day only. Because they
Right.
can't. They don't have another system to say you got it.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Craig. All right. Let's have a little discussion here about a great article that was put up on the Diz by our contributor, Philip Schoen, believe is how he pronounces his last name. And it was Top 10 Reasons 2019 Will Be Exciting at the Walt Disney World Resort. So I've narrowed down his list to just the 10 things that he listed. I want to get people's impressions. Are you excited? I'm not even going to look at you.
I am.
Number 10, he said, although not new, he is excited about the returning Epcot festivals. Now, they really should just string them all together at this point because they pretty much run all year. We have Festival of the Arts starting this week, and then we're going to have Flower and Wine starting in March, and then we move on to Food and Wine I'm sure it will be June now. So there's always, and then the Festival of the Holidays. So there are 4 festivals really that go on, right? Throughout the year. And it's only a matter of time before they start. But are we excited about the returning festivals?
Are we doing this like McLaughlin group style where you're going to tell us if we're wrong or not?
No.
Okay.
I'm
Maybe.
not. I'm very. Oh. Do you want to say why you're
I
not?
would like them to bring back the Festival of the Masters. That was my favorite event of the year at Disney.
Yeah.
And
I think that's what they were trying to do with Festival of the Arts, but,
yeah, but that's
it's
just
not
Disney.
the same.
It's
yeah.
not the same.
It's not
This
the
was a
same.
wide range of
Yeah, get some good
and
stuff.
a bunch of different types of art. We used to love the folk art. I used to love the folk art stuff next to House of Blues. That's my favorite one, and I miss it. So
Yeah,
until
I
they
agree.
say they're going to bring that back, this to me seems like a sad substitute.
So, what about you, Craig? Why are you not excited?
They just don't really hold appeal to me anymore. I feel like maybe it shifted. Before I lived here, it was something that I was always interested in. And then once I first moved here, it was something like, oh, this is what locals will go and do. And we'll stop by, especially for the booth-related events, you'll stop by one booth this time, and next time you visit, hit another, all of that. And that it's just kind of lost its shine over the years. And now it's kind of like it's the same stuff every single year, just put in with a different name or a different package. And so for a lot of returning visits, it's just lost the appeal for me personally. But I think it's great for those who still haven't experienced it yet. But it's gotten stale, and I don't know what they can do to fix it without a complete overhaul. But there's so many new first timers that you don't want to take it away from them either.
Right, exactly.
Also, the crowds are hard to deal with.
Can be. Ryan, were you getting ready to say you were excited for them?
I'm very excited for specifically the Festival of the Arts. The rest, I'm kind of ambivalent toward. But Festival of the Arts is still fairly new. I think this is the third year now, and I mean, for me, it's something that appeals to me because I like to paint and do art-related things a lot. So it's kind of cool, and I like how the guests kind of always change up what artists are there, because Jared Maruyama, I really like him, and I know he did a special print just for the festival that I'm looking forward to going to see and stuff like that. And I like that the food in life, wherever I go and travel, I always like to see food that you're familiar with done in creative and unique ways. And I feel like that's what these festivals always should be, and they're not always what they are. And so that's why I like Festival of the Arts really does that. Well, they'll take an item and then they'll like deconstruct it, or they put more time and effort into the things that you're getting. So it's a lot prettier, and I don't know. So this festival specifically that's starting Friday is the one I look forward to the most.
All right. Well, number 9 on his list are the new hotels that are slated to open this year. The Riviera, which is opening near Caribbean Beach Resort. That's a Disney Vacation Club property. And the Grand Destino Tower at Coronado Springs. Are we excited?
I'm excited to make a better judgment about them, because right now, judging by the concept artwork, they don't look very Disney to me. But I don't think I can really have a fair, judgment on them until I see them in person. So I'm excited to have that ability, but I don't know if I'm actually excited from what I've seen in the concept
I
artwork.
agree. Where the Grand Destino Tower is concerned, I can understand Disney's approach. Coronado Springs is a big convention property. And being a moderate resort that is among the biggest convention spaces in Central Florida, that's a lot of what they attract. So they need space for rooms that are more appealing, let's say, to that market. But Riviera, on the other hand, is going to have to be in theme with the other Disney Vacation Club properties. And being that, technically it's on the grounds of Caribbean Beach Resort, but I don't know that it's actually connected to Caribbean Beach Resort.
I don't either, but it seems like a miss as far as theming is concerned. The Riviera and the Caribbean aren't even close to each other. So it seems like in my opinion, it should have, even if you're not going to have it be the same resort, have it be 2 resorts, it should have been a little more
Themed better.
closely themed.
No, we'll see.
What excites me about new resorts is the other new stuff it brings. It brings restaurants, and it brings other opportunities for stuff to happen. So it's not like, oh, there's a new resort, I can't wait to go there. But it's always fun to have a new resort on property. And
as people who sell travel, I'm excited. I'm excited for inventory. I'm excited for more rooms to sell. But I always, I'm excited about Grand Destino. I want to see it. I'll check out.
The concept art is beautiful.
It is.
That lobby is gorgeous.
And I think, again, basing judgments off concept art might be premature. Let's see what they actually deliver.
John won this round.
Yeah. So you're going to be McLaughlin? Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Wrong.
No, it's a competition. I'm gonna
Okay,
play
number
harder
eight.
next
Number
time.
8 on his list. NBA experience at Disney Springs.
Wrong. Boo. Get out.
Hard pass.
I don't understand something.
I just want to make sure. Does anybody in the room,
Kevin.
is anybody excited at all
Big
about the
basket.
NBA? Or do you agree with me? This is the greatest waste of space they possibly could have done. With that
Basketball's
building.
the one where they wear the tank tops, right?
Short
I'm excited
shorts,
about
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I agree. As a wide world of sports, and then this, that's 1 and 2 for my opinion. Waste of space at Disney.
Yeah.
But no, Kevin's excited because he's going to be able to get size 15 sneakers.
There you go.
So that's for him. I don't understand something. This is bothering me for a very long time. Why did they need to completely take down Disney Quest? Why couldn't they just gut it and use the same shell? It's the same size. It's basically the same shape.
Wasn't there an NBA experience at Universal?
That was the NBA restaurant.
Didn't it close?
It did.
Because nobody wanted to go in because nobody cared.
And I have a feeling that, I don't know. I think this is a big mistake. I think this is going to be a big failure. I don't think this is going to be there. I'd be surprised if this lasts 3 years.
They've got a little there's the NBA experience, and then they've got the little, I can't remember the name of it, the bar that they said was going to be like part of the outside part of the building. That it's got a different name than the building, but it's technically the same thing. That looks cool. Like it looks like, oh, if I'm going to go see Cirque, that night, it looks like a nice alternative to House of Blues if they're having a concert or something. There's just like, let's sit at the bar and have a drink and then go into Cirque. But other than that, it's like, well,
All right, but it's pretty much roundly accepted in the room that
cares?
this is not an
Yeah.
exciting thing. All right, number 7, he has the Space 220 restaurant at Epcot and the new signature dining restaurant that'll be opening in Japan. I am much less excited about signature dining in Japan than I am about this new space restaurant.
Me too.
I cannot wait to see what they do with this, because the whole concept is that you'll be dining in space. And if I'm not mistaken, is this going into that room we used? For
it's,
fam.
it's a standalone building
It's a
in
standalone-
between
Yeah,
Mission
new
Space
building,
and Test Track.
Yeah.
Okay, I always
I
for some
apologize, but I had no idea what you were talking about.
that we
He
had
meant
that,
the Test Track GM
the
Lounge.
Test Track GM Lounge.
Oh, no. But
I'm
I
always
see-
excited when there's a new restaurant.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always fun to go.
This
and
one's
try
going to
them.
launch you into space,
It seems very.
and then you
Epcot.
have to put your Star Wars outfit on.
It's one of the things that Steve was mentioning with the resorts, though. I'm much more excited about the this one than the Japan Pavilion one, because once again, it seems like hardcore theming. And like a new restaurant is a new restaurant. Let's hope the food is good. But over 10 years, there's an ebb and flow with food. Over 20 years, there's a lot of ebb and flow with food. But if you start out with really cool theming, I will eat there regardless of how good your food is. At
Yeah,
some
like
point.
Coral
Don't
Reef.
give him any ideas. We already have enough problem with crappy restaurants. We
Yeah,
don't
like
need.
Coral Reef.
I also think that there are Japan themed restaurants around the country. Maybe not to the level of Disney, but how many space themed restaurants can you go to that are not going to be in Epcot?
Well, you could
There's-
say that all around.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm just saying.
That's not
I mean, and
different.
that I'm probably going to be more excited about the space restaurant than
All
I
right,
would
so
for
the vote-
most of World Showcase.
The vote goes to Space 220. That we're excited about that, or is the Death of Magic over there not excited about this?
I'm excited about space, but I think I'm more excited about Japan. So I'm hoping that it'll finally be a different take on Japanese that I don't get everywhere.
Yeah, it's got to
else.
be better than Tokyo dining, because
So-
that's just been terrible.
Tokyo's it's pretty plain. Hibachi grills are all over the place anymore,
Yeah.
so that doesn't
They're
have the
passe
same-
at this
so-
moment.
yeah,
exactly.
Are they out of-
So I'm
So-
excited for something new.
All right, number 6 on his list: new films in Epcot, the update to O Canada, and the new Beauty and the Beast sing along. Anybody?
One's good, the other's not.
Which one's good, Craig?
Do you not remember my review of Beauty and the Beast?
I was going to say, I think people know where we stand on Beauty and the Beast.
So you're excited about O Canada?
Yeah, I just anything that keeps these videos more relevant and continues showing off the beauty of the countries, I think is
As long
a
as they
good
keep
thing.
the same music.
Yeah, I mean, the Canada one I didn't think was too dated, but sometimes dating it can still be cool. Like you walk into Impressions de France, and it still looks magnificent. Not the video quality per se, but just you want to believe that that's still what France looks like when you go there, and that's why it
And a lot
makes
of
me
France
want to.
does still look like that.
And so
It's a
I think
preserved city, so.
it has a timeliness to it. But regardless, just updating these videos, keeping them regularly, and not just getting rid of them, it's game in my book. It's good.
All right, number 5 on his list, the new Pixar editions at Disney's Hollywood Studios, Uniceberg at Pixar Place, and Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy at Sunset Showcase.
They're just stuff that already existed there at one time before that they kind of brought back. Like I understand it's a better themed meet and greet area, but the Incredibles used to do meet and greets inside of the Animation Academy, and Lightning McQueen was on the other side by outside of Lights, Motors, Action in that corner over there, and so it's like it's cool that they bring them back, but I don't.
Yeah, but it
it's been
sounds like the
done.
Lightning McQueen thing is going to be more than just a meet and greet.
It's going to be.
It's going to be an a show. I'm very
interactive
much
show.
looking forward to that.
Yeah,
So,
I am too, and I'm interested to see what they do with Pixar Place.
Well, the cool thing about that, you're going to meet Edna Mode.
I know,
I think that's awesome.
and that starts actually. That's going on Friday.
Friday.
That starts. So we'll be covering that along with the new dance party at the
You have
Magic
to
Kingdom.
take Teresa.
And
It's her 102nd birthday on Friday.
who, Teresa's?
Yeah, happy 102nd birthday, Teresa.
So yeah, we've got that on Friday. We've got the new dance party in the Magic Kingdom on Friday, and we've got the start of Festival of the Arts on Friday. So we're busy on Friday. Members of the team will be in all 3 of those parks. I just won't tell you which members and what parks. Number 4, the Disney Skyliner. I am excited about this. I will be honest. I am excited to see how it works and how it is. Anybody else join me in that?
I am. I'm excited. I mean, I think it's a new.
Did you get excited by mac and cheese? No.
I mean, there's lots of things on this list that I wasn't excited about, but I am excited about the Skyliner.
I want to say I'm probably the only person on the team who's been completely positive on it from start, like the first announcement to even to where we are right now on it.
I'm excited
super
to see
pumped.
what it is, but I have concerns, and I think my concerns are well founded.
No windows and no air conditioning?
No air conditioning, and it's the ground strike capital of the world.
Well, they actually, someone has confirmed that for sure this will stop when there is storms.
Oh my!
It's going to be like if the slides at the water parks are closed, the Skyliner will be closed.
So in this summer, it'll be closed.
But it's not with people in it, hanging there like
I don't
bait,
know the answer to
like
that.
bait for lightning.
I think every time Pete rides it, he should have a GoPro on his face. And it'd be like,
It's gonna be like Blair Witch Project,
alone and scared.
A rope ladder.
a rope ladder. Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't know if you can't run it because they're afraid it's going to be struck by lightning. I mean, what do? Do you?
They'll probably
That-
run out the rest of the people that are still on, and then
Yeah,
I
they
can't
same
imagine.
policy-
The key word in that sentence was probably.
Yeah. The same
No,
policy that they have with boats already. You can't
leave
take
them
a lot of boats when there's lightning either.
It's what you do in attractions. It's cycling
Yeah.
clear. You cycle clear, and then you shut down.
Okay. So, well, I am excited about that. Number 3, the new nighttime shows. May at Disney's Hollywood Studios will be the new Wonderful World of Animation, which is another projection show because they don't have enough of those. And temporary replacement to Illuminations called Epcot Forever, opening this fall. I am very sad that Illuminations is going away. I know it's been 20 years, so it's time. But I have a lot of memories attached. I have a lot of memories attached to Illuminations. We'll see what they put in its place. If it's a chumpy, cheap placeholder, we will pummel them.
But aren't you surprised that they're talking about it as a placeholder? You've had 20 years.
Why not just keep it going?
Or why not? You should have been ready.
Right,
Yeah.
just introduce the new thing. Rather than have a
Right.
place
This one's
for it.
done.
Yeah, I
Loved
don't
it.
understand why we've got to stop Illuminations, do a placeholder. Is it because they've got
I
to?
think it's because the new technology that's going to be added in for the permanent replacement requires. I don't think it can work with what's currently set up for the Illuminations we have, so they kind of need to do something
Makes
in
sense.
between while they're building
But
new rigging.
does
and all
anybody
that,
think
but-
this is actually going to be good?
Yeah.
Really? Because I think it's going to be a cheap placeholder that is going to pale in comparison to Illuminations.
It could
Now, I'm not
be.
saying the new one will, but I'm saying this placeholder thing, I think is going to be a cheap stopgap. I don't think they're going to spend a lot of money on it. I don't think they're going to invest a lot of time in it because it's not going to be running for any more than a few months. So I think what we're going to get is a water version of a projection show. And I think it's going to be crap. I have more hope for the replacement show that comes on the other side of it. But I don't think they're going to, based on how Disney has been, I don't think they're going to put much into this at all.
Also, with the projection shows, unless you're going to improve on World of Color, stop. If you've seen World of Color, every other one has paled in comparison.
Yeah.
So if you're going to have another one of those, unless you're going to really raise the bar, I mean, we saw that one at Animal Kingdom, Rivers of Light, and I thought, whoa.
Well, again, I don't know that this is being billed as a projection show. This is being billed as lasers and fireworks and special effects. So maybe it's not.
Let's say.
I think it's going to be a very stripped down show, but it's going to pay tribute to a park for me that I love. So I'm happy about that.
I love it too, but part of why I love it is illumination. So if you're going to take illuminations out, you better put something better in its place. Yeah. And if that means you have to do a placeholder before what you want is ready, make sure it's a really, really good placeholder, because you will be you will be judged. You will be judged based on what that is. There's no way around it. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think this placeholder is going to be anything good. But I could be wrong, and I'm open to being wrong. All right. And what about Wonderful World of Animation at Hollywood Studios? This is just another projection show, isn't it?
Projection and lights and fireworks.
Yeah, it's going to be a blend.
I've been surprised at how well Studios has done their shows.
I have been very disappointed.
Have you really?
I have been very disappointed. I think this is the use of projection in place of fireworks, in place of a good fireworks show. I think it's a cheaper way of doing these nighttime shows, and there are far better ways for me to watch Star Wars than having projected on a mock-up of Grauman's Chinese Theater.
See, that's the opposite for me. I kind of give it a hard time going into it, and then after I watch it, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot how much I really enjoyed that show. Yeah, it's not the biggest and greatest thing Disney's done, but it's still entertaining. It still manages to tell a story from start to beginning, and it's
from start to beginning.
Yeah, start to finish.
From A to B.
But overall, it's better than having nothing at all. Would I rather see that there, or would I rather have the hat?
Here's my thing. For what they charge, my options should be better than. It's better than nothing. For what they charge, they don't get away with. It's better than nothing. They got to do better than that. So, no, you're wrong. All right, number 2 on his list, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I am very excited about this.
That's the one that to me is old Disney.
Well, it is, but what I'm excited about is how I think the technology they're going to use to create a 3-dimensional experience without needing the use of any 3D glasses.
2.5D.
I think what I meant by old Disney
2.5D.
is it's not a product they purchased. It's old Imagineering to me. That's always what I loved about Disney. That's always what I gravitated to. So I'm excited about this.
I have come around to this ride. At first, I was not excited because I know you were not a fan of the Great Movie Ride. I loved the Great Movie Ride. Yes, it needed to be updated, but I was sad that the Great Movie Ride was going away. So I think that my initial reaction was like a gut instinct was, oh, well, I don't want anything that's going to replace that. But now, hearing what came out of Destination D was just a little bit, but they mentioned that some of the sound effects are going to be like the Steamboat Willie whistle they're using the same whistle sound that's from the movie. Like all the sound effects that they're using are like old Foley props that are a tribute to the way that the Mickey cartoons used to be made. And so the attention to detail that's clearly being put into this attraction has made me totally, completely change my mind.
Which pivots to Kevin's point that this is old Disney. This is old Disney in terms of
This is the Imagineering that I fell in love with.
Can I also talk about 2.5D real quick?
Sure.
This is the same technology they've used in Mystic Manor, and Mystic Manor is unbelievable.
Mystic Manor blew me away.
And it's true. It felt like 3D without glasses. So I'm telling you, it's going to be incredible.
What 2.5D really is,
right.
More or less. So I'm very excited about that. Of course, I think also you might be surprised by Galaxy's Edge because this is all Imagineering. They're creating new attractions from the ground up. Nothing's being bought off the shelf. And that is, of course, number 1 on his list. That's the big one for all of us, I think. especially the big Star Wars fans like Kevin, who's very excited about dressing up.
I'm always excited about seeing what they come up with. This is no one's surprised. This isn't my purview. This is not something that, if this was a Downton Abbey thing, I'd be leaving my skin.
I will say this. Let me say this about you, though. Every time we go to Disney property and you see what they're doing there, you're impressed.
I am.
He drives by. We drive by the
what
back
they're
of
building.
it.
I miss the Disney
unbelievable.
that wouldn't let you see that. I miss the Disney that would have screened that somehow.
Yeah.
That would have planted the trees before they started the construction. That's the level of detail that I miss at Disney.
Yeah, that's gone.
It is.
Unfortunately.
And it's kind of a mourning thing. I used to love the fact that you couldn't see what they were doing.
But you still think it's cool when you see that stuff and you drive by. You're like, oh my God, look what they're building there. Look what they're putting in place.
I watch a show called Tiny House Hunters. I don't want a tiny house, but I'm amazed by ingenuity. So that part will appeal to me. The ingenuity will appeal to me. The fact that you can surprise me. The fact that you didn't buy a Dumbo ride and put magic carpets on it.
Amen.
These two rides look unbelievable.
I wonder if some of the reason why Disney doesn't go to that level anymore. I am right there with you, by the way. I agree that they should still go to that level of planting trees and doing whatever they can to keep that secrecy. But I wonder if now, because of the internet and because of people on social media being able to just, get a helicopter and fly over and be able to get a picture of it that way, or getting it on social media because they put their phone over the
We had
fence.
helicopters before social media, but
I'm just saying, but they couldn't post it all over Twitter and make it go viral. So you could show it to your friends, but before the internet, how are you going to get that picture out there? And so I
think the problem we have now is it's just space. So like you can't make the new entrance to the studios, or you can't change the entrance to the studios without having it skim the park, and now you see that.
To a point. To a point. However, the bottom line is this isn't being influenced by social media. This is being influenced by the fact they just don't care about that anymore.
That's fair. That's true.
So let's just be honest.
200-foot trees.
We've talked about it before. The what guest service was in Disney theme parks in 1995 and what guest the service is in Disney theme parks today are very different experiences. In 1995, you'd never find a filthy bathroom, and it'd be really hard to come across a rude cast member. You are much, much more likely to find those two things right now, and it's mainly because they just don't care as much anymore. It's a money grab.
But Universal did it. You drive behind Universal Studios down Turkey Lake Road, and they've built large green walls that kind of blend in with the trees. That's the kind of stuff Disney used to do. Disney wanted to... We've all heard the stories. You walk down Main Street, and it's the curtains opening on the beginning of a movie. They always wanted that to be the reveal. And it seems to me, I think the one I remember it the most is when they were building Avatar at Animal Kingdom. There was nothing done to hide those rocks in the sky.
I think Steve's point
The
is
floating
really,
mountains.
That's one.
Steve's point is really well taken, though. As far as I'm concerned, with back then the big reveal was a big reveal. Nowadays they actually they get a lot of interest with constant updates, and some of that does have to do with the internet and social media factor, whereas people are paying attention. People look at construction photos. People who live out of state are actually going up seeing,
Charles,
what's
My
the
guess,
construction
my
photos?
guess, though, is that if you asked an Imagineer why that's not being done anymore, his answer is, if he's being honest or she's being honest, it's not going to be, oh, we want the social media attention. It's going to be, they just don't care about
I
it.
used to call Disney's toll-free number to ask the people who answered the phone what was new at Disney. Little did I know they were over on International Drive and nowhere near Disney, but I lived in Albany, New York, and I wanted to know details, even if I just heard about them. But when you got here, then why bother putting up walls in the park? Why bother putting up screening on any attraction so that you can't see the construction? Why not just put it out so everybody can put it on social media? Disney still wants that surprise.
I want one more thing I want to add to that. And what we're seeing now is this is backfiring on them because people are waiting for Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
People are waiting for the new ships to come online. So Disney's now saying, oh, shoot, we have to fill these parks. We have to fill these ships. So let's do
That's a
this
good
stuff
point.
early because people are now waiting and saying, I'm going to spend my dollars later.
You got a good point there.
Thank you. Do I win, Craig?
You win on that one, absolutely.
Winner.
Craig. He doesn't decide winners. I do.
Told me I won last time.
Winner.
Okay. Okay. Well, we got a lot more discussion out of that than I thought we were going to. So that was awesome. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it. That's going to do it for this week's episode. And we will be back with you again next Tuesday with another edition of the Diz Unplugged. Have a great week, everyone. And remember, stay out of the damn lakes.